some of you aren't familiar with ourselves. Inspire is a charity, and Inspire Workplaces, Inspire Students are a social enterprise. And so we provide a whole range of mental health and wellbeing support services. Could be from training and train up your managers on mental health awareness, to providing interventions like counselling services to staff, specialist interventions like more long-term support for maybe one individual within your organization, critical incident response if maybe there has been, unfortunately, a passing of an employee, or maybe there's been a trauma in the workplace. We obviously go in and we support staff through that. And we've a whole range of customers that we provide these types of services to. We're an All Ireland organisation, and so that brings me on to really needing a CRM that can hold all of this information. And so we work with, as I say, from every teacher in Northern Ireland to the Blue Light Services to lots of charities, private sector companies. We hold we work with Garda Síochána, Defence Forces, a lot of organizations who have very stringent reporting requirements. We have to, there's a lot of governance around them, the likes of even around the civil service. So we need to make sure that we have something that works for us. And it's hard to believe it's been 5 years now. Me and Niall work very closely together. And what happened was we approached Niall and we were able to create something that worked for us. So we sat down together and worked out, okay, what are we going to look at first? Because as Niall mentioned, it's best to embed it into maybe one department or for one service. And for us, it was the employee assistance program. And that's our biggest service, and that allows organizations to access helpline and counselling. And we have over 300 customers, 750,000 people. And so what we needed is to have all of that information in one place in terms of, contract start date, end date, how many people can use the service. Of that service, can just staff members use it? Is it agency workers? So much detail around every single contract, because every contract varies and every contact within that contract varies. There might be someone specifically related to, receiving reports or invoices. And all of that was currently, at the time, was being managed by that contract manager. And what we have found is a brilliant benefit to moving on to the CRM is that, for example, we have an employee on maternity leave at the minute. And so she had a significant number of contracts that she managed, but myself and another colleague have really been able to just seamlessly take on those contracts and manage them, because what we find really helpful is Outlook can be linked to Maximizer. So every email can be saved under one profile. So I was able to look back and see all of the email communications, past documents that have been sent, and literally just pick up that contract and not have to start that whole process and finding out what their needs are, what they've had in the past. And so from literally capturing data, it's been really helpful. And that was our main goal, because especially with the pandemic, it has been a godsend, to be completely honest with you. And it's the visibility of it too. So within Inspire, there's a number of us that work. We have 5 contract managers. I previously was in a business development role. We have a business development team. And, especially within Northern Ireland, it's a small place. And usually we find, maybe I would be speaking with an organization, but I know, before they maybe had training with ourselves. And Maximizer is a place where we can be able, we can find all of that information, and all of our staff can access it either on their phone or on the web, which has been really helpful. And it's accuracy around the detail too. And we've been able to customize profiles. So for example, if we wanted to build a field to capture a certain piece of information, I'm actually at that stage where I can do that myself. So me and Niall have worked very closely. So whenever we rolled out the CRM, I was the champion. And so we had training for all staff that use it, but I had some extra training. And so it meant then that if I had any questions, or if the staff any questions, I had a bit more knowledge around it. And I find that's really helpful, because in terms of barriers of using the service or using the system, I have found that if staff can't find the answer easily, they'll stop using it. So myself and Nell work very closely to be able to kind of upskill my own self into using the system. And so I can now add fields myself, I can add whatever information I need. And I also, in terms of reporting too, we would provide board reports because obviously we're part of a charity. So at any given time, I can provide any senior management or our board of, how many lives do we cover, for example, or what new business did we generate in April 2018, or it can pull any data that you put into it. And that is what I would say is that in the beginning, it takes a bit of time. I did, input a lot of data into it, and we did do a global, we put loads of information into it, but it does take a bit of time and trying to figure out what is it that you want it to do, what is the purpose of it. And now we find that we actually use the CRM, not just for our employee assistance program, but our specialist interventions team now use the CRM, and now actually our charity are using it. And we find that it is really helpful because our fundraising team, we find that a lot of organizations will donate money into the organization, and that's really good for us to know because they may be one of our customers, and it just provides that really good level of visibility. And being able to customize it, I found it really helpful because the number of times I've thought I really need to capture X, and I've called Niall and I've probably very badly explained what I'm trying to achieve, and Niall is incredibly patient and is always able to help provide a solution. So there's the contract management side of it and the capturing data, but we also use the CRM for accurately recording new opportunities. So in terms of where they all fall, so obviously we have a number of organizations that will just approach us directly. We're also, we are involved in lots of tender processes. And so what we can have is we have a really accurate list then of what current opportunities are open, how much value and revenue will they potentially be able to bring to the organization, and what stage are they at. And from a business development perspective, I find that incredibly helpful to keep everything in the one place. And especially around security groups as well. I mean, sometimes there's very commercially sensitive information in terms of our contracts. If we're, having conversations with potential partners or all of that sort of stuff, we're able to lock certain parts of the CRM down. So generally what I would say is the benefits that we have found is the fact that it links so well to Outlook, and you can literally record every single communication. You have a profile with the contacts associated with all the information onto one profile, and as well, just from a business opportunity perspective, being able to again record that and the visibility of it, everyone can access it, and it is very user friendly. So I hope that gives a bit of an idea as to how we use the CRM.